Cowboys fans, Cowboy Nation. This is officially, it's looking official right now, but reportedly, the Dallas Cowboys are close to hiring Mike Zimmer as the defensive coordinator, the former coach of the Cowboys from 94 to 06, originally starting as a defensive assistant, then turning into the defensive backs coach, and I believe for 7 seasons after that becomes the defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, up to this point, famously known for coaching under Bill Parcells at this point, that juncture of that Cowboys history. Bill Parcells is the head coach. And so, of course, Mike Zimmer, if you're going to be coaching under a guy like Bill Parcells, you already know you're going to be very detail-oriented, and you're going to be very, I guess you want to say, very mindful of just being disciplined. That's what Mike Zimmer is going to bring the difference in what he's going to bring compared to a guy like Dan Quinn. And Dan Quinn gets a lot of respect. Of course, he's always going to have some love around here because he was able to turn that defense around. We saw that porous defense, I believe, in that COVID year. And Dan Quinn comes in and instantly, that defense under Mike Nolan, and Dan Quinn comes in instantly and turns things around, becoming more of a playmaking type defense, attacking the ball, making big plays, forcing turnovers, things like that. But at certain points, you would see the Dallas Cowboys also lose focus, and sometimes that would seep into where it comes to the discipline. And a lot of that showed up in this final game against the Green Bay Packers, some of those discipline issues. But when you're going to be playing under a guy like Mike Zimmer, he's very, 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 like I said, detail oriented. So we're talking about a guy that was the coach of the Minnesota Vikings, I believe, up until 2021 when he loses his job. Then I believe about 7-8 years as the head coach of the Vikings, the third winningest coach in Vikings history. And prior to that, he's the defensive coordinator for the Cincinnati Bengals. And apparently the word goes around the entire league. If you're going to play for Mike Zimmer, you're going to have to be physical, you're going to have to be tough, and you're going to have to be no nonsense. And to me, that's exactly what the Dallas Cowboys need. When you're looking at the way that the Dallas Cowboys have been running defense, the defensive scheme under Dan Quinn, kind of like we talk about, is very versatile. Look for hybrid type players, guys that can kind of do more than one thing. Mike Zimmer's philosophy and his approach has always pretty much seemed to be it's going to be an attacking 4-3 or attacking 3-4, which he coached under Bill Parcells. But predominantly a 4-3 of the last years, what we saw the Minnesota Vikings especially. And he's very, very big on pretty much using, I guess you want to say, using his formations to do different many things out of the same formations, which in turn is going to completely confuse your defense if you're very good at that. And to me, when you're going to be watching what, I guess you want to say one of the biggest turns in what we're going to be looking for under Mike Zimmer, the Dallas Cowboys defense should be very focused on just that front four and also the linebacker position, because again, he wants to be very intentional with his aggression and physicality on the defensive side of the ball. And to me, if you're going to be watching Mike Zimmer, what I feel like you're going to be able to pick up on pretty quickly is that he's just very big on stopping the run first. It's that old philosophy of pretty much trying to shortchange the offense as much as they can, make them one-dimensional, make them focus on doing one thing. But if you're able to take away the run game, which we've seen the Cowboys have a little bit of trouble over the last couple of years, then that's what you're going to be able to see now. Your playmakers, your guys like Micah Parsons, getting after the quarterback is what they're going to be able to do. Should be, I'm going to say, more comfortably in situations. And to me, I believe situational football is also what you're going to be getting much better in. When you're talking about the difference between Mike Zimmer and a Dan Quinn. And this is not like we're crapping on Dan Quinn or just stating all the issues that he had, because he did a lot of good for this team, but it's just time to go in a different direction. Of course, Dan Quinn is now the head coach of the Washington Commanders, so we're going to be facing him a couple times a year, it seems. So Mike Zimmer, 67-year-old Mike Zimmer, and some people are getting to the age, some people think it's not that big of a deal. I'm on the side, I don't think it's that big of a deal. We're looking at a guy, he has the mentality and he has the fire steel at this point. And obviously, when going in there and you're talking about Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, he has some familiarity with these guys and he's used to working under some guys like that. But again, Mike Zimmer is going to be no nonsense. Darren Woodson says himself, kind of like that shock culture. He's going to be the shock to the system. He's going to come in here, and if you're looking for a coach that you love, that you're going to, of course, you're going to play hard for guys. But if you're going to look for that, kind of, I guess you want to say kind of the way that the Dallas Cowboys defend, I guess you want to say on the defensive side of the ball, the way they seem to look at Dan Quinn, kind of like he was that I don't want to say older brother, kind of like that father, uncle type figure. Then you're going to be looking around and finding yourself in situations where you're going to be saying, I'm not looking for a defensive coordinator that my players just love as if they want to go hang out with them and eat dinner with them. I want a guy that's going to pull out this this ferociousness and intensity that some of these players just seem to lack certain points. We have some playmakers, obviously. You're talking about Trayvon Diggs, who we're hoping to get back fully healthy next year. You're talking about Micah Parsons. You're looking at Deron Bland, or what he could be, a constant development, obviously. Damone Clark, a guy I want to see continue to make improvements because he has certain points where he was solid this past season, but I feel he still has lots of room to grow. DeMarvion Overshown, potentially, if we can get him back healthy, that's going to be a guy that you're going to be looking around and seeing him playing way more, I guess you want to say, getting more opportunities in the linebacker room. But if we're going to say what are the Dallas Cowboys getting in Mike Zimmer in just one word: toughness. You're going to be getting toughness, and hopefully that's going to be something that trickles down throughout the rest of the team. And especially, you can even flip it to the offensive side of the ball, because we do know football is one of those games. It's a very momentum based game as well. So if you see your defense getting after it, your defense is banging heads, taking guys out, then all of a sudden you're going to be able to see on the flip side, maybe the offensive line is going to be a little bit more aggressive. That should fire up both, I guess you want to say, the team overall. So the Dallas Cowboys locking in a guy like Mike Zimmer, reportedly. I don't believe it's official yet, but again, I think, of course, that always goes to the nuance. You're working out contracts, you're working out the small details, but it seems to this point, Mike Zimmer is going to be the defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys going forward, and we will see exactly how this goes. The NFL draft will be coming April 25th to April 27th, and we'll see exactly what that's going to bring. The Cowboys, I feel like, are going to be very intentional. Like I said, once again, if you're looking at Mike Zimmer, some of the type players that you're going to be looking for, again, guys that are able to force some pressure, just pretty much, I guess we want to say, in a dynamic of where it's just man on man, put a body on a body, and just get after the quarterback. And if you're looking at the secondary, I'm going to say Mike Zimmer is very big on pretty much just trying to disguise things. Sometimes you'll watch a Dan Quinn defense, and one thing for sure is he'll kind of lean on what he's very good at, what he's good at, and what he knows. But sometimes that can get you in trouble when you're playing against some of these great offensive minds on the flip side. And we saw some of these situations again this last game against the Packers in the playoffs. That was a big issue. What I feel Mike Zimmer is going to do is going to be way more confusion. Sometimes you're going to see one side of the defense, the cornerback side, one boundary corner maybe playing man, the other side maybe playing zone, and intertwined in between that, now your nickel corners playing zone, while your outside corners are playing man, and something like that. You like to have different nuances. And also, it's shadow stunts. That's the biggest thing. Shadow rushes is some of the big things that Mike Zimmer has been very good at. You're going to, again, have some of the same formations, but you're going to see guys kind of being moved around. One time it'll be this guy coming, another time it'll be this guy coming. You're dropping guys in coverage. It's just trying to force lots of confusion. I think this is going to be something that we're going to actually be able to have that's going to be a sustainable defense, and not something, again, it's good to get the big plays, obviously. We love forced turnovers. We love takeaways because they lead to points for the Dallas Cowboys, the offense. But sometimes you want a system and a scheme and just a philosophy that you feel is going to be sustainable come playoff time. That's the biggest thing. The Cowboys, we seem to always make some real noise against some of the worst teams, or just some of the teams that are just middling. But when you start to play against the better teams, you do, for some reason, start to see a little bit of a tail off. And I want that to change. And I'm sure that's exactly what Mike McCarthy and some of maybe the rest of this organization was looking for as well. We'll see exactly how the Mike Zimmer experience goes the second time around. I appreciate you guys for all the support. Go ahead and let me know down low and below in the comment section what you guys think about Mike Zimmer returning as the Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator. Is this a guy that you were kind of putting your finger on, or you're looking for somebody else? What do you think we need to add during the NFL draft to improve this defense? Let me know down below in the comment section. I appreciate you guys as always. And again, as always, enjoy the rest of your day.